All right, let's dive into a question that has honestly puzzled people for centuries. It's this journey that starts with a simple legal verdict, not guilty, and somehow ends in a life of, well, victory. But how in the world do we get from point A to point B? Let's unpack that. Here it is, the big question. If salvation is a totally free gift, something you could never earn, then why bother being good? I mean, really, doesn't that just give everyone a free pass to do whatever they want? It's a really fair question, and the answer, it turns out, reveals the very engine that drives the entire Christian life. So here's our roadmap for figuring this out. First, we're going to look at something called Grace's double cure. Then we'll hit this radical idea that in Christ you are already holy. From there, we'll explore what it means to become what you are, how to avoid a couple of really common pitfalls, and finally, why this whole journey is actually guaranteed to finish strong. Okay, first up, this double cure. What's that all about? Well, a lot of people think of salvation as just a ticket to heaven, a get-out-of-jail-free card. But Christian thinkers, especially the reformers, saw it as something way bigger, a solution that actually solves two huge problems at the very same time. See, on the one hand, you have justification. This is your legal status. It's a one-time declaration from God. You are righteous, all because of what Christ did for you. But then there's sanctification. This is your actual, lived reality. It's the lifelong process of being made righteous by Christ's power working in you. Now, they're definitely different, but here's the key. You can't have one without the other. They're a package deal. This quote from Michael Horton just nails the crucial difference in thinking. It's all about the order of operations. One view basically says you have to become good enough for God to then declare you good. But the other view flips that completely. It says God declares you good first, and that declaration becomes the very power source for you to then live it out. You see? Justification is the soil that sanctification grows in. The 18th century hymn writer Augustus Toplady called this the double cure. And it's a perfect image. The gospel doesn't just save you from sin's penalty, it's guilt. That's justification. It also saves you from sin's power, its grip on your life. That's sanctification. It's a complete top-to-bottom solution. And that leads us to this next idea, which is, honestly, it's a bit of a shocker for most people. You are already holy. This is the absolute heart of how change happens, and it's all about the brand new identity God hands you the moment you believe. Let's just look at the word sanctify for a second. We tend to think it means to make morally perfect. But that's not what the original Greek word means. It means to separate or to set apart. It's an action God does, claiming a person or a thing for himself. Think of it like this. In the Old Testament, it was the temple that made the gold in it holy, not the other way around. God's act of setting you apart for him is what makes you holy. So this is the logic of grace. It always starts with a fact, what grammarians call an indicative. It's a statement of reality. Because you are in Christ, the Bible declares, you are holy. You have been set apart. It's a done deal. And it's only after that fact is firmly established that the command, the imperative, comes. And the logic is everything. It's not, be holy so that you can become holy. No. It's, you are holy, therefore live like it. The command flows out of your new identity. It doesn't create it. This really sums it all up. The Christian life isn't this exhausting struggle to become someone you're not. It's actually a journey of learning to live into who God has already declared you to be. You're just becoming what you already are. So you might be thinking, okay, if God makes me holy in a single moment, then what's the rest of my life for? Great question. The rest of your life is about this, becoming what you are. It's this amazing, lifelong process of growth that flows directly from that new identity. Theologians have a couple of big words for this: mortification, which just means putting to death the old sinful patterns, and vivification, which means being made alive to a whole new way of living. Really, it's just out with the old, in with the new, and it's happening all at the same time, every day. A great way to picture it is to think of it as living out your baptism every single day. You know, baptism symbolizes a one-time event, dying to your old self and rising to a new life. Well, this is the daily reality of that symbol, turning away from sin and turning toward God, over and over and over again. Now, understanding all of this is kind of like walking a tightrope. If you lean too far one way, you fall into a ditch. Lean too far the other way, you're in just as much trouble. So let's talk about avoiding those two ditches.
On one side of the rope, you've got the ditch of legalism. This is the danger of trying to add to what Christ has done, trying to earn God's favor through your own effort and rule keeping. On the other side is the ditch of antinomianism. It's a fancy word that just means anti-law. This is the danger of abusing grace, thinking that because you're forgiven, God's moral law is totally irrelevant to your life. Both are dead ends.
So how do you stay on that tightrope? By understanding the law has a new job. For the Christian, it's no longer there to condemn you. Christ took all of that on the cross. Instead, it becomes a guide, like a roadmap for a life of gratitude, showing you how to live in a way that pleases the God who saved you.
This brings us to our last point, and it's probably the most encouraging one of all. It's this simple promise. You are guaranteed to finish. This is for anyone out there who's afraid they might mess up and not make it. The official name for it is the doctrine of perseverance.
Just listen to this promise from the Apostle Paul. He who began a good work in you will bring it to completion. Just notice, who is the one doing the work here? Who is the one guaranteeing the completion? It's God. The guarantee isn't based on your ability to hold on tight. It's based on his commitment to finish what he started in you. And the Bible just piles on these promises. Jesus says no one can snatch his sheep from his hand. Paul asks rhetorically, if God is for us, who can possibly be against us? And he concludes that absolutely nothing, not life, not death, not anything, can separate us from God's love. It's about as rock solid a guarantee as you can get. So here's the bottom line. Your ability to make it to the end is guaranteed by God's ability to keep his promises. Your journey from that initial verdict of not guilty to final victory is secure, not because you're so strong, but because he is so faithful. So we end with this. The question isn't if you'll finish the race. According to this, you will. The real question is, knowing that you're guaranteed to cross the finish line, how does that change the way you run the race right now? How does that kind of security free you up to run not with fear, but with absolute joy?